Now, today I'm going to be describing proper front-end game, so that way you can actually establish real-life masculine attraction. Now, I also put together a real-life example for you from this weekend, so we will go ahead and we will play this right now. I will put this in the bottom of the screen.
You are lying.
All right, this is
Connor.
and hey, you gotta say your name. Casey. What's your name?
Connor.
Tegan, what are you doing? All right, we are here with what's that video called again? How to make a woman obsessed with you.
He's vlogging.
So, in order to make a woman obsessed with you, you have to.
Yeah, buy her hot chocolate and a dozen roses.
You heard it here first. This is the key to make a woman obsessed with you. Roses and hot chocolate. Really, that is not how you do it at all. So don't listen to him. But that's how you do it, apparently.
This is going to make it effortless, so that way not only do you know how to have proper conversation with women to develop, real feelings and real attraction, but I'm even going to be showing you how to make sure that the women want to come to you first and they want to actually start that conversation process and even initiate first, so it's way easier for you. Now, after this video is over, be sure to go down below, click the link in the description, check out the end-to-end webinar presentation that I made for you. You can take some of these concepts even further and copy paste them into your dating life and get results at a way quicker pace. Let's dive in. All right, here goes. I am going to try my best to explain my entire front-end game process, and I titled this video, Demonstrate Masculine Attraction Through Proper Front-End Game. So these women that approached my friend and I, here's how this happened, okay? And what you really have to know is that what front-end game is front-end game means that you are demonstrating active masculinity, drawing in attention, almost like a driving force in the world, and a lot of it is energy, okay? So the masculine energy is active. What she's going to do is respond to that if it's positive masculine energy and come into your frame. So front-end game, okay, is a component of 4 things that make up female attraction. And I'm going to describe what this is step by step, and feel free to message in the comments below if you have added questions on this, because I've never actually given like a comprehensive breakdown of how I do this and why. So the very first thing that goes into the front end would be tribe or brotherhood. So you hear this a lot, like on social media, people say, find your tribe. There is a lot of truth to that. Your brotherhood, okay, or the male friends that you have is who you bring around you, okay? That's a representation of who you are, and women like to see that, and I'm going to explain why. So, number 1, the first component of the front end would be a tribe or brotherhood, and it is best if all of you have a similar look. Okay, women like when they see men all together doing the same thing for one common purpose. So I want you to think of like a football team, or think of a soccer team, okay, or think of some rock stars, a rock band. Everybody has a similar look. And that's why women will consistently pursue those men, because they are all together. So I'll give you an example of why this is so important. There was one time I was out on like a Saturday night, and a group of guys walked in, and I think it was a bachelor party, and they all had wigs on. So like it was a mullet. So they all had fake mullets on, and they all had bow ties. If it would have been just one guy walking into the venue or the bar or wherever I was at like that, it would have been weird, or it would have been different, right? There's like, who's this guy? But when 10 or 12 of them walk in all like that, all of the girls start to laugh. So women like to see that you have like-minded friends around you. Now, it's best if you all have a similar look, but at minimum, okay, at minimum, you need to each have your own look. So like in this example, my friend and I had different looks, and I'm going to explain what his look is versus what mine is. Now, the second thing that women like to look for on the front end that attracts them is unity. They want to see that you are together. So here's what I mean by that. When I go out with my friends, we are there for us. We are not there for them. As soon as you're there for them, now you're thirsty. As soon as you're thirsty, she can see lack of options. Now pre-selection does not work in your favor. So I'm going to show you why this happened in just a little bit to explain this at an even deeper level. But number one, the first thing that makes up the front end would be your brotherhood. Number two is unity. Okay, now number three is a look. So I'm going to explain to you my look versus my friend's look. So my friend, he is about, I think, 6'1", and he goes for the golfer look, okay, because he likes to golf. So he always has the golfing attire on, and that kind of fits his personality. So the shirts that he wears is like golf, the hats is golf, and women can clearly see this. It's his own look. It definitely attracts women towards him, and it has kind of his own swagger. Now, the look that I was going for, or that I like to rock, that just kind of represents my body frame and who I am, is a lot of times more like a rugged cowboy, okay, or just, I kind of have my own look when I go out that has its own attention, and nobody told me how to do this. This is just me personally. So what I like to do is, well, actually, we will get to that in a little bit. I'll explain to you my look and kind of how this draws attention in just a second. But the third piece that you need on the front end would be a look. So I go for the rugged cowboy. My friend goes for the golfer. Now, number four, the fourth thing that goes into the front end would be attention. So you're captivating their attention. Now, here is kind of the phrase that I like to use. Charm, or being charming. Charm is really just self-promotion. That's what charm is in the lens of a woman. So what I can tell you is this. You can be loud. You can be the loudest one in the room, but not even say a single word. Well, how'd you do it? You did it through your brotherhood, unity, having a look, and now naturally you captivate attention. Women will think you're charming just because of all of the pre-selection favors that you have going for you that makes up masculine attraction. So this is a very in-depth, nuanced video. Now, moving on to number two, why this happened. First off, let me give you an example. These women opened us first, and I'm going to explain to you. And also, they had a group of guys that they were with from the previous location that they were at. In Arizona, downtown, there's like these golf carts that drive people around, and they met up with like 4 or 5 guys that they were with, this bachelorette party. And by the end of the night, they totally were ignoring the guys that they were with, and they were all sitting by us. And I'm going to explain to you why this happened. So why this happened, okay? When we go out, we have, or I have, the most relaxed and nonchalant body language. I am completely leaned back, and I'm going to explain to you what I mean. So what I'm doing is I'm wearing, this is my look, and this stems into number 3. When I go out, I was wearing a cowboy hat, okay? So this naturally captivates attention. Keep in mind, I was the only guy in the entire bar with a cowboy hat on. Number 2, I had this fitted white t-shirt. A lot of times I keep my tank tops a plain color, or I keep my t-shirts a plain color, so just a fitted white t-shirt. I think it was a v-neck. I had on a cheap watch, okay? I don't have any fancy watches or anything like that. I think that watches and jewelry, just having it there to captivate attention is more important than having it name brand or luxury. It's just an attention grabber piece, so this is just a basic watch. I had on these swim shorts that are a little bit lower cut. And see, this is its whole separate vibe. So these swim shorts, you can see the pattern. There's like beach flowers on them. Arizona is really hot outside, so this is kind of what I was wearing. And then last but not least, I had just plain white sneakers. So this is its own vibe. This is its own look. There's even sometimes, if it's like a day party or a day event, I will go out with these on, which is just a pair of white framed sunglasses. These are Ray-Bans. And that's kind of my get up, or that's my going out attire. So this is what I'm wearing, okay? Now, as I'm wearing all that, naturally it's captivating tons of attention, because the look and the image is like, who's this guy? Now keep in mind, I show up with 6 friends. We're all laid back, nonchalant, and one of my best friends, he's wearing the golfer attire, and he likes rings and jewelry and that kind of stuff, and it naturally captivates attention. So when I'm sitting there on the couch outside at the event, I have one foot kicked up, okay, on the table, laying back, and it's like an outdoor couch. So I have one foot kicked up on the table, laying back, and outdoors on this couch, it's like there's drinks around us and there's people around us, and I'm just really laid back in my own element. Now, what I'm doing the whole time is I'm only talking to my friend. So all of my attention is turned to the left at him, and we're having a conversation by ourselves. The reason why I'm doing that is because I don't want to give anybody else attention. I want to keep focus on one person, because that's what a conversation is. And when you talk to women too, there's going to be multiple people involved when you're out and about, but what you're going to notice is each conversation you have to be present with one person. So my only focus was on my friend. My focus is on the friend. All of the women's attention is starting to come to me. Okay, so my focus is on my friend during the conversation. He's engaging back and forth with me in the conversation. Neither of us are acting thirsty. We show up with 6 friends. All of my other friends are kind of spread around the couch and at other tables that are really close by. My friend, who's wearing the golfing attire, he's engaged. Okay, so he already has a soon-to-be wife. And me, I already have women that I'm dating. Okay, or I already have a girl that I see. So neither of us are thirsty, because we're not going out there looking for dating companions or options. We're going there to enjoy our own element. So neither of us are in a thirsty state, okay? They feel that. They feel safe. They feel good to be around us, because they can see that we're not like scanning the room actively looking for women. Now, here's what happens. They open us, and I have an open seat right by me. So there was multiple guys who were all commenting how beautiful or how attractive this brunette woman was. So this attractive brunette, I don't say a word to her. She comes up to me. So she's walking over to where I was sitting, and she comes by me and she says, "Can I sit here? I have an open seat on the couch right next to me." So here's why women do this, okay? Or here's why you need to kind of let this play out. And keep in mind, I'm going to tell you this too. Not a lot of this is going to make sense until you start to go out in the real world for yourself. You can watch all of these videos explaining this, but until you see how women behave and how female nature is in real life, it's going to be very hard to put any of this into real life play until you go out in the real world. So this attractive brunette comes by me and says, "Can I sit here?" Instantly, I notice a few things. She's not openly validating me. She's not doing anything that is super direct. A few things happen, and this is natural female nature. She's indirect. She's covert with her intent, and she's making herself available for conversation. That is a woman's strategy. From here, now it's my job to lead. So if I want to talk to her, which I did, now I can carry on that conversation forward because she's made herself available for me to communicate with. So I start having a good time with her, and we're laughing back and forth. She's slowly getting to learn about me, but I'm uncovering myself very slowly. So I start having a good time with her, and we're laughing. Now, all of a sudden, the blonde, okay, now she comes in, and she says, "Are you a cowboy?" And she says it all flirty. So here's what you have to understand. The blonde girl, since she could see that me and the brunette were laughing, having a good time, now that gives her an open invitation to come and talk to me too. Instantly, she goes for the attention grabbing piece. "Are you a cowboy?" And I didn't say yes or no. All I did was I took my hat like this and I swirled around and I go, "Yeehaw." And she laughs and she goes, "Yeehaw." So instantly now we're playing back and forth in conversation. So she asks if I'm a cowboy, and she says it all flirty. Now pre-selection is working in my favor, and when one comes, they all do. But notice, the blonde, she probably wanted to talk to me, or she wanted to talk to my friend. I'm not quite sure which, or she wanted to talk to both of us. But notice, she needed the approval, or she needed to see that the brunette has approved of me. So when she sees that the brunette for minutes on end is consistently talking to me and laughing and getting to know me and having a good time, now she sees, okay, I guess there is something going on over here. There may be some value over here. I want to go see what's going on. Now, all of a sudden, the attraction starts to work in my favor. So what you have to know is when one of them comes, they all do. Now, by the end of the night, here's what happens. I have 4 or 5 women around me. Even the bride who's about to get married is laughing at the conversation. And this is my attitude the whole way through. My attitude the whole way through is I disclose as little as possible, okay? By the time they found out that I was somewhat of an influencer, they loved it even more. And they loved it even more because I was not self-qualifying. There was no self-qualification energy. There was no, hey, look at me. I was reserved and I was almost a little bit mysterious because I unfolded myself, or I only gave information one layer at a time. And they were even commenting on that. Okay, and they liked that mystery. They wanted to keep knowing more. They wanted to keep seeing more. And notice, I did not lead with this. I didn't lead with me saying, oh, I do this, or I wanted them to know as little about me as possible so that way they have something to discover. And I uncover this at the proper pace. You want the interaction to be like a storybook that she's never able to fully finish. So the third thing that I do is I talk slow and I had long pauses. You're going to even notice that what I do, when she said, what's your name? I paused for 3 seconds in that video and I did not even say my name. I said my friend's name. I go, Connor, as a joke, and then they both laugh. So I talk slow, long pauses. So what they could see from this is that my attitude was not needy, like I didn't need anything from them. And I wasn't necessarily scared to lose their attention. Now keep in mind, what is the proper psychological frame going on here, or how does the conversation work? You're going to notice I basically said nothing serious in that video. So when she starts watching my videos, she starts reading the titles of them at the outside venue we were at, and she's laughing about them. And then she says, oh, what's the secret? And I say, buy her hot chocolate and a dozen roses. And they laugh, okay? And she says, oh, no, that's not right, but I guess if you say so it is, because you're the one who does this. All of that, it's just one big playful game. It's one playful game of conversation. This is how front-end game works. I'm never serious. I'm never actually communicating about any heavy topics. I'm sitting there talking about roses and hot chocolate. The guys that they were with from the previous bar were sitting there watching this go on for 30, 40 minutes, and they had no idea what to say because they couldn't believe it. And you could tell they were just amazed, and you could tell they didn't even know where to take the conversation from here. And then by the end of it, we have 4 or 5 girls around us. So this is how it works. If you like this video, hit the like button, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.